London, 1888, the kind of nights where the fog rolls in thick, and even the gaslights look like they're shivering. I remember it vividly: cobbled streets, cold gusts cutting through your coat, and whispers in every shadow. Somewhere out there in Whitechapel, there was someone or something who was making a name for himself, carving his way through London's underbelly. People started calling him Jack the Ripper, though back then, he was just some bloke with a bloody knife. I can still see the horror on people's faces, especially in the newspapers. Oh, the papers ate it up. Headlines were screaming "Ripper strikes again." Meanwhile, my colleagues and I were left scratching our heads, trying to figure out who could pull this off, night after night. And Jack, he kept cutting his way into notoriety, one slash at a time. I suppose you could say he really went for the arterial route to fame. Then the letters started arriving. There was that first one, the Dear Boss letter, where he practically gloated, taunting us like he was the lead in some macabre comedy. He even signed off with a cheeky Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper, as if he was giving himself a business card. Murderer at large, the only surgeon who makes house calls. I remember thinking, this guy's got nerve and a strange sense of humor. But the real letter, that was the From Hell note. That wasn't just ink on paper, no. Jack went a step further and included a human kidney.
Imagine opening that letter. I could practically hear my breakfast threatening to make a reappearance. And, naturally, the press went wild again. People were fascinated, like we had some twisted surgeon playing catch me if you can with our entire city. And meanwhile, we were no closer to catching him. It was like he had us all stuck on a Riparian slip, one wrong theory after another. Then, of course, came the suspect circus. You wouldn't believe the theories that flew around. We had everyone from local barbers to actual royalty on our suspect list. Yes, royalty. Imagine Queen Victoria saying, "A scandal. My family. How shocking." Everyone thought Jack had to be some doctor with a knowledge of human anatomy, given his, surgical style. And if you think that's bizarre, we even had people claiming he was an artist or a writer. Because, yes, clearly, he was a man of many talents, right? But no matter who we questioned, no one fit. It was as if he were a ghost, slipping in and out of those foggy streets with a laugh. Honestly, I'd catch myself laughing sometimes, too. The absurdity of it all was too much. We'd be sipping tea, reading the latest headline about Jack, and I'd think, he's out there, reading this too, chuckling to himself and thinking, good luck, boss. And we were left holding nothing but our tea and a whole lot of theories. In the end, Jack vanished as mysteriously as he arrived. Just poof, gone. No capture, no trial, not even a clear confession. He left a trail of terrified Londoners and an entire police force that had aged a decade in a few short months. And yet, here we are, still talking about him.
Who would have thought that a maniac with a knife would become the city's biggest mystery? And I don't mean that lightly. He practically has his own fan club now, made up of ripperologists. Yes, that's what they call themselves. I have to admit, it's a bit funny. The man responsible for half my gray hairs became a legend. And no matter how many years pass, his story never quite dies. Jack left his mark. All right, a reminder that sometimes the biggest mysteries are the ones that haunt us forever.